We're going to rank the best office chairs at every major price point, switching it up a little bit. Instead of picking one chair for each price, we're going to pick 3. Myself, Greg, and Robert each have a pick. We don't know what each other picked, and we're all different heights, 5'9", 6 foot, and 6'2". Let's jump into this. We're going to kick it off with the lowest price point. We're starting with $300 or less.
I'm going with the Tacova chair. This is an Amazon pick from one of our lists. A few of the reasons why I picked this over something that might be mentioned here, which is the Clatina Mallet, which is like a close second here. I'm going to say number 1 is arm depth. So it fits me better than the Clatina Mallet. Also, it has a bit more aggressive lumbar to it. So when you think about the lumbar on a Mallet chair, it's non-existent because you pull it out because it's so uncomfortable. The Tacova chair hits me right. It's aggressive. You can dial it in, dial it out. And so I like that a lot. And then also the seat pad on the Tacova, it just fits me a little bit better. I hate to say it again, but the Mallet, as I'm comparing it to that a lot here, is a little bit too shallow for me. So that's my pick.
What do you got, Robert?
So I'm actually going to go with the Clatina Mallet, which is seems off because I'm actually a little taller than Greg. But the thing I like about the Mallet is it's definitely not a perfect chair. Like Greg said, you basically have to take the lumbar out because it's too aggressive if it's in. So we basically just pulled that out right away. The seat depth is a little off because if you pull it all the way out, you kind of sit on this like hard, what would you call it? It's like a hard frame that you hit on the back of the seat.
There's like too much space in between the back and the seat.
Exactly. So it's like I actually don't pull it all the way out when I use it, which means that the seat depth is a little too short for me. It definitely has problems, but I still think it's the most comfortable chair for me in that price range. I like the seat. It has kind of a nice recline. It just feels good. To me, it feels like it's actually maybe a $400 chair. So honestly, if this price range was best under $400 instead of $300, I think I still would pick the Clatina Mallet.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the Mallet. I mean, we've looked at a ton of chairs under $300 in the past several months, and for me, there's only real two chairs that I recommend, and it's the 2 chairs that these guys have talked about. I think that in terms of quality, technology, number of adjustments, you're getting more bang for your buck out of the Mallet. It's one of the most well-built chairs I've seen at that price range. It's pretty incredible, actually. But I'm going to go with Greg's pick because for me, I actually like the Tacova a little bit better just from a pure comfort standpoint. And that's almost purely because of the recline. Now that I've kind of switched from the Leap to the Fern as my everyday daily driver, I've really started to put a lot of value on that smooth, deep recline. And the Tacova gives me that. And I also like the flexibility in the backrest, allowing me to move around. So that would be my pick there. So Tacova, Mallet. I think both of them are great picks, but I'd lean towards the Tacova.
I'm actually really surprised, to be honest. I thought we would be straight across all Mallets. So it's interesting. It's a good battle there.
Tacova's a sleeper pick, I'm telling you.
It is a sleeper pick. Next tier up is 500 and under. I'm going to start right away. This one's pretty easy for me because we just dropped a video where I put my pick out there, and it's the Vera from Eurotech. It is, I think, without question, under $500, the most comfortable chair out there. I love the backrest on it. It's mesh. It's got a really nice curve. Feels like a hammock. The seat pad itself is thick, but it's also firm, which I prefer. It's got a ton of adjustments on it, and I think Eurotech's a good brand for backing up their chairs, their products. So good value pick here at $500.
I mean, the problem is the $500 range is really tough right now. I mean, if this was a month ago, my pick all day would have been the Soji, but you can't get the Soji for under $500 anymore. I mean, for me, it's Vera all day. It's just an upgraded version of the Tacova. It's a more well-built chair. It's more comfortable. The headrest is terrible, which is a drawback, but I like the recline. I'm not a huge fan of the armrests, but it is a chair that I could sit in every day, and I have sat in every day. And so for under $500, for me, it's Vera for sure.
So this is going to be a sweep. I also went with the Vera. I mean, I have one of these at home. It has the nice built-in curve in the back that's just super comfortable. My wife loves this chair, and she's like a foot shorter than me. So it shows that a lot of different body types are going to fit this chair really well. The recline feels nice. Probably my biggest thing I don't like is that the arms, they don't go very low. They're kind of like at the lowest setting. I still wish they went a little lower, but I feel good about the Vera pick.
This might be the last time we agree on a pick.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so under 700, Ryan, what is your pick?
I could go 2 ways here. If we're going for a brand new chair, then I have to go with the Soji. I can't think of a brand new chair that's better than the Soji for under $700. But this is the price range where I'd be willing to get into talking about refurbished models, used models. Would probably recommend something like that. Something like the Leap or the Amiya or an Aeron would probably be a good ticket item here if you're getting a good warranty, some good policies. So
I feel like Brian is like stealing my script. I'm kind of frustrated right now because, I think this is the price range where all of a sudden you have to start thinking like the other chairs that are between that $500 to $700 range. You're not going to get the high end chairs, but you can still get one of those high end chairs if you find a reputable seller of a refurbished chair, or you might be able to find a really nice one on Craigslist, Marketplace, something like that. For me, that's definite way I would potentially go.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad take on it. I don't have that same take here with this particular price point, but it's true. I mean, once you get in this price point, it does open the door for some of those for more reputable companies. My pick for me is actually really close to the $500 range. So in this small little window around $500 is two chairs, the Vera under $500, and then when you just get over it, it's the Hayworth Soji, which I know these guys, that'd probably be their actual pick if it wasn't a refurbished product. And the reason for it is because you're getting probably, I would say arguably the best value in a high-end product. It comes from a major manufacturer. The Soji, if you're a little bit wider frame, is going to fit you better than a Vera chair. The Vera, like we mentioned, it fits a wide variety of people, except for if you start to get a bit wider, because it is a narrower chair. Where the Soji has a wider seat, wider back. I think the arm pads are a little bit more comfortable. They're softer to the touch. And again, backed by a major brand, that's super important. Now, it doesn't have aggressive lumbar, so if you're someone who wants that, maybe not the best pick. You might want to look at an alternative, but that's my pick for under $7.
Yeah, that was I had the Soji as my pick for a new chair or a potentially refurbished chair, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I sat in the Soji a little bit this week just to kind of double check, make sure, and yeah, I mean, that's definitely my pick if I was going new.
All right, Robert, best under $1,000. I think this is a pretty good price point for a lot of people. I know it's on the expensive side for some, but if you're looking to make a solid investment, it's going to last a long time. This is where a lot of people will kind of look. What's your pick?
So I got kind of excited when the guys set up the studio here for the shoot. They gave me the chair. So here it is, the Amiya, which I just love the Amiya. For me, this is where you're finally getting that pick where you're like super happy with the chair. You know you're going to have it for years. It's really comfortable. I wouldn't really necessarily need a headrest on a chair personally. Amiya doesn't have a headrest. I'm fine with that. Back is just super comfortable. The seat is really padded nice. I kind of am torn between whether I like this or the Leap. Of course, the Leap is a higher price range, but you're going to be super happy with the Amiya and be able to potentially save some money by not going with those kind of flagship or highest end chairs from Steelcase.
Solid pick. What do you got?
I mean, this is, if you've watched any of
I mean, it's pretty obvious we're all about to have the same pick here.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could you pick? That's the problem here, is the prices have gone so crazy. If this would have been a month ago, I would have picked the Zodi. The Amiya is the only option, and the only available option under $1,000 is just the all black ready to ship, I think they call it. For me, it's the Amiya. It has to be.
Well, no budget. There's no budget on this last pick. So if you could spend any amount of money, what is your pick?
My pick is the chair I'm sitting in right now. It's the Hayworth Fern, specifically configured, no headrest, no lumbar, 4-way arms, and the digital knit fabric. And for me, this is the most comfortable chair I've ever used. And I've sat in a lot of chairs over the past 15 years. Amazing recline. The armrests are super comfortable and very, very adjustable. The backrest for me, though, is what really separates it from any chair I've used. It just gives you this floating feeling. It's super soft, flexible. You can move anywhere that you want, and it still supports you no matter how you're sitting in the chair. For me, this is S plus tier right now for me. So
yeah, I mean, no one else in the office really gets to sit in it anymore because Ryan's basically claimed it as his own. So
yeah, that might be my pick, but I don't think I've ever really sat in it.
Not extended periods of time.
Yeah.
What do you got, Robert?
All right, so this is probably not going to be a shocker to you guys, but I'm going to go with the Herman Miller Aeron Remastered, the stool, okay? So we went no budget. So I'm going to go all out, and I'm going to get the stool version. The reason I like the stool is with a standing desk, I like to be able to have the desk raised up a little higher, and then be able to kind of either have your feet up or, but have the chair up a little higher. I really like that. The Remastered just has, to me, the best recline, which makes that chair super comfortable. I just love being able to rock back in that chair. Like I kind of teased earlier, the arms are super comfortable. They don't necessarily have maybe as much adjustability, but they are the most comfortable pads. They're just super cush. I'd get this thing fully loaded with the Posture Fit SL. It's just really classic, really good-looking chair. I actually really like the white, the silver color. It just would look cool in my setup. So for me, it's the Remastered all the way.
Remastered stool.
I'm not shocked by the Remastered. I am shocked by the stool version. That's the most random addition I may have ever heard from you.
Yeah, they've got a really unique footrest on that thing. How it moves up and down is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
The first time we saw those, or at least I saw those stools, was at NeoCon, and we walked into the Herman Miller booth, and everyone at the front desk was sitting in these stools. And I was like, ooh, someday
I'm going to work at that front desk, and I'm going to get one of those stools. Nice.
Well, what do you got?
Unlike you two, I don't actually have a chair that's being currently manufactured by a manufacturer that I absolutely love and is an S tier. It's unfortunate. But I do think the Leap, which I've had a ton of time in, and the Lamia I've had a ton of time in, I found, we created it before, it's the Lamia, and I'm still sitting in this chair at the office, so we're talking months later, and I love it. The only problem is you have to buy 2 chairs from Steelcase to create this thing, so I'm blowing the budget out of the water with this. It's
no budget, though. And didn't you slap a leather back on yours? So it's even more upgraded?
Yeah.
Leather back with a Mia seat?
Super upgrade
Chrome
here.
base?
But at the base price here, ready to ship, because you're going to need to buy both of these. You need an Lamia for $9.99, and you need a Leap for $12.99. You're at $22.98 out the door plus tax, and you're going to have arguably the best seat, best backrest. You're going to improve the Lamia because you're going to introduce backstop, which it doesn't have, which is probably the only miss from the Lamia in my opinion. And there are some days where I wish that the Lamia had a bit more support, so it just had a bit more aggressive lumbar. It just doesn't. And so, while it's comfortable, there are those days where you just wish you had a bit more. So, yeah, look, if you've got $2,300 to spend, I don't think you can go wrong here. So that's my pick. Sorry, Steelcase again, but here come the questions.
Yeah.
All right, let us know what you think your best picks are at these different price points, and if you like this style of video. Thanks for watching.